Republican candidate for governor of New York was physically attacked yesterday, but he was not injured, according to the Associated Press. Representative Lee Zeldin, Republican candidate for New York governor, was attacked by a man who apparently tried to stab him at an upstate event Thursday. The congressman managed to escape uninjured, according to his campaign. There is video of the event. You can actually see Lee Zeldin standing on stage as a man approaches him and seems to lunge forward. Zeldin grabs him by the wrist and is able to at least neutralize him for the moment. It looks like he was carrying it kind of looks like brass knuckles that are edged on the top. It apparently has some stabbing implements on the top. He's kind of holding it like this, and it looks as though he's going to stab Lee Zeldin. According to NPR, Zeldin was giving a speech when a man climbed on stage and appeared to begin wrestling with the congressman, said Katie Vincennes, a spokesperson for his campaign. A video of the event in Parenton, posted on Twitter, showed the man appearing to grab Zeldin's arm before the two fall to the ground as other people tried to intervene. Zeldin's campaign said the attacker was taken into custody. The congressman continued his speech. There are no actual details on the attacker or his weapon at this point, according to the New York GOP chair, although we have seen some pictures of the weapon. According to Langworthy, he says Zeldin had just a little scrape, but it wasn't what anyone would consider an injury. The chair said he was told that Zeldin's running mate, former New York Police Department Deputy Inspector Allison Esposito, was there and among those who helped to subdue the man also. Langworthy called on Hochul, the governor of New York, current governor Kathy Hochul, who again took the job because Andrew Cuomo couldn't stop grabbing ass or killing old people. Langworthy is calling on Hochul to issue a security detail for Zeldin to protect him on the campaign trail. Hochul, in a statement, condemned the attack, said she was, quote, relieved to hear the Congressman Zeldin was not injured and that the suspect is in custody. Well, I'm sure she is. And again, I don't blame politicians for other politicians getting attacked unless they actually call for violence against the other politicians. Just a consistent rule that I have. It is fair to note here that according to Breitbart, Hochul sent out a press release urging her supporters to RSVP to her Republican challenger Zeldin's upcoming campaign stop just hours before a man rushed onto the stage at one of Zeldin's events in a failed attack. According to Breitbart, Hochul's campaign sent out a press release just hours before the failed attack on Zeldin that blasted out the time and location of several of Zeldin campaign's upcoming stops. Hochul claimed Zeldin and his team would spread, quote, dangerous lies, misinformation, and his far-right agenda at these campaign events. The press release said, quote, Big Lie Lee and his entourage of extremists kick off the statewide MAGA Republican bus tour, which will make stops across the state peddling dangerous lies, misinformation, and his far-right agenda. Also, the New York governor claimed that Zeldin would be joined by top anti-abortion advocates, NRA enthusiasts, and a cast of extremist groups. She urged her supporters to RSVP to hear about Zeldin's election integrity task force and his recent election fraud scandal in which his campaign photocopied over 11,000 duplicate petition signatures. You sent your supporters after him and they came, said Arthur Schwartz, who is a Republican activist. Now, again, the attempt by Hochul to suggest that there was some sort of extremist activity happening, that he was a dangerous man, then somebody shows up at Zeldin's event and tries to stab him. If this had happened in reverse, we all know what the headlines would be. If there were a Democrat and some quote-unquote activist attempted to stab the Democratic candidate, and the Republicans had directed people to go to the campaign event because dangerous lies were being spewed there, presumably that Republican would then be hauled onto the carpet by the media and asked why exactly they had incentivized such an attack. I say this, obviously, because this is exactly the angle that the left has been taking with regard to January 6th. The angle the left has been taking on January 6th is it's not just that Donald Trump said things that were not true between November 4th and January 6th. It's not that he legally attempted to pursue remedies that he had no business pursuing, or that the remedies he attempted to pursue had no legal basis. It wasn't that. It was that he somehow created the incentive for rioting at the Capitol, even though he never called on people to riot at the Capitol. He called on people to peacefully march to the Capitol. And you're going to have one rule for everybody. It's got to be the same rule. If Kathy Hochul is telling people to go to other people's campaign events because they're spewing dangerous lies there, and then somebody tries to stab her opponent, well, I mean, if you're going to use the Donald Trump standard that the left likes to use, then you have to talk about her moral culpability for what happened. If not, then not. So I'm in the not category, meaning I don't like that Kathy Hochul is encouraging people to go to her opponent's events while suggesting untruthfully that it's an extremist event filled with dangerous lies, et cetera, et cetera. I don't like that sort of stuff. I didn't like it when Donald Trump did that sort of stuff either. But that's not the same thing as blaming people for actual violent attacks. So the Democratic Party yesterday, along with Liz Cheney and Adam Kinzinger, they did their January 6th specials. Another January 6th special. Ooh, the most highly awaited special since like the Happy Days reunion. Everybody was in on this thing. They loved it. People were really up for it. The media particularly. I don't know what the ratings are yet. I would imagine they are in the dozens, but the media were just over the moon about this thing. We were supposed to find out revelatory new information about Donald Trump's activities during the riots. Oh, you mean the revelatory new information that between the beginning of the riots and when Donald Trump released a public video, he didn't do anything? That's not revelatory. We were there. Like, we all remember it. Again, the biggest problem with the January 6th committee is there's no there. It's a reminder that Donald Trump acted very badly leading up to January 6th and did not act well on January 6th also. But people have their opinions on that, and those opinions are not going to be changed on any of this. And so they're still out there getting their hands on materials from January 6th. One of those materials was apparently a Trump official saying that Donald Trump was watching this on TV while the Capitol was sacked. Again, we knew this already, but okay.
Was the president in that private dining room the whole time that the attack on the Capitol was going on? Or did he ever go to, again, only to your knowledge, to the Oval Office, to the White House Situation Room, anywhere else?
To the best of my recollection, he was always in the dining room.
Yeah, what did they say, Mr. Meadows or the president? And all, during that brief encounter that you were in the dining room? What do you recall?
I think everybody was watching the TV.
Do you know whether he was watching TV in the dining room when you talked to him on January 6th?
It's my understanding he was watching television.
When you were in the dining room in these discussions, was the violence of the Capitol visible on the screen on the television?
Yes. Right.
Okay, so I'm not sure what that is supposed to demonstrate other than what we already knew, which is that Donald Trump knew what was happening at the Capitol building, and then he didn't act in the way that he was supposed to. And he was impeached by the House over exactly this. So So the January 6th committee brought forward evidence that the day after January 6th, Donald Trump gave a speech from the podium in which he had a very tough time saying that he lost the election. I mean, again, I'm wondering where is the meat here, considering that it is now currently July 22nd, 2022, and he's still not saying that he lost the election. So, you mean back then he's saying the same thing that he says now? Why, I am shocked and appalled. Anyway, here are the outtakes of Donald Trump.
I would like to begin by addressing the heinous attack yesterday. And to those who broke the law, you will pay. You do not represent our movement. You do not represent our country. And if you broke the law, you can't say that. I'm not going. I already said you will pay. The demonstrators who infiltrated the Capitol have defied the seat of justice. It's defiled, right? See, I can't see it very well. Okay, I'll do this. I'm going to do this. Let's go. But this election is now over. Congress has certified the results. I don't want to say the election's over. I just want to say Congress has certified the results without saying the election's over, okay?
But Congress is certified. Now Congress is
Yeah, right.
Now Congress
I didn't say over, so let me see. I would like to begin by addressing the heinous attack yesterday. Yesterday is a hard word for me.
Just take it out. The heinous attack.
Good. Take the word yesterday, because it doesn't work with the heinous attack on our country. Say on our country. Want to say that?
No.
My only goal was to ensure the integrity of the vote. My only goal was to ensure the integrity of the vote.
On January 7th, one day after he incited an insurrection based on a lie, President Trump still could not say that the election was over.
Wait, I have a question. I mean, first of all, I'm sure that's true, but also that is not what those outtakes show. Those outtakes just show Trump trying to read a speech and then going back and revising the speech through and through. Like, they have outtakes there where he just screws up a word, like yesterday. I don't know what is that outtake supposed to show exactly? He doesn't like the word yesterday? My God, impeach! He doesn't like the word yesterday. The January 6th committee, again, they are out over their skis. They have made suggestions that they do not have the evidence to actually backfill. And again, all this is going to do, the actual countervailing effect of this is going to be pretty bad for the Biden administration, because Merrick Garland is going to have to decide whether to prosecute Trump. Democrats desperately want Merrick Garland to prosecute Trump. So Merrick Garland was asked about this yesterday. And he said, anyone criminally responsible for January 6th will be prosecuted. But again, most Democrats believe that Trump was criminally responsible, even if that's not true. So here's Merrick Garland.
We have to hold accountable every person who is criminally responsible for trying to overturn a legitimate election And we must do it in a way filled with integrity and professionalism, the way the Justice Department conducts investigations. Both of these are necessary in order to achieve justice and to protect our democracy.
Okay, well, all the pressure is going to be on Merrick Garland. So for all the talk about how this is going to hurt Republicans, wait about a month and we'll see how this works out. Who's got two thumbs and wants you to like and subscribe?